And the Bank of England just comes out and says it and says, listen, you plebs, you chavs, you yobs, you just have to get used to being poor. So here we are in 2023, getting ready for 2024. And Joe Biden is trying to position himself in social media and the meme wars by coming up with this laser eye meme. But it's now directly taken from the Bitcoin world. So is that what he's trying to say? And with Bukele, you're right. I mean, everyone is trying to figure out what the magic formula is.
Yeah. Well, they're stealing our memes, and that means we have won. 2 major memes stolen by 2 major global institutions that have failed. And we know this because they're stealing our memes. That's because we are winning. We being Bitcoin, we being President Bukele.
Bitcoin just infiltrates politics, sociology, the day-to-day workings of society. It's just making inroads everywhere. Now, the have fun staying poor at the Bank of England, of course, is really remarkable because the current chair of the Bank of England is saying that, people shouldn't, as you say, shouldn't ask for salary rises because that's only going to cause inflation. The reason why the Bank of England prints so much money is that it makes it easier for the speculative class to borrow cheaply and speculate on assets and to buy assets, yachts and foreign properties and things like that. And so they created a structural environment for inflation to exist. And now that it's virtually impossible to hide the fact that the Bank of England has completely destroyed the British economy as well as other central banks.
This is something that's been going on for a few decades, as you said, the money printing, but also the more they money print and the more they get further away from the principles upon which not only our nations were established, like with the constitutions and the Enlightenment ideals.
Yeah, the Bank of England's new chief economist, this guy named Hugh Pill, right? He's saying it's going to be a very difficult pill for you to swallow, says Hugh Pill. Pill said a game of pass the parcel is taking place in the economy as households and companies try to pass on the higher costs. Somehow in the UK, someone needs to accept that they're worse off and stop trying to maintain their real spending power by bidding up prices, whether it's higher wages or passing the energy costs through on to customers.
The collapse of faith in these institutions and the institutions that the people no longer have faith in and they no longer trust have over the past few years become increasingly angry and aggressive about it, authoritarian about it. This is what we've seen since Trump won in 2016. And then here you have this guy who, he's just spouting a lie. Not only have they printed and caused all the inflation, but their war in Europe caused the cost of natural gas to go up, and their policies to just cut off the 3rd largest natural gas supplier in the world and the single largest commodities producer in the world, exporter in the world. So, they're the ones that decided to do that.
So as you point out, the war in Europe is coming home to roost in Britain, and the cost of energy is going higher. And it's really, as we've been saying before, it's a passing of the baton from the 40 to 42 year bull market in the bond market, which was focused on Wall Street and the New York Fed, where the world was on a US dollar standard and everything could be dollarized. And who controlled the dollar? You could control the global economy. And then the war in Europe meant the end of that era and the beginning of the commodity era. So commodities are setting prices for energy and food and other commodities, and the global South and the East are now in charge. There's the passing of the baton, the Thucydides trap, as you've talked about it before. And the U.S. dollar is now being used less and less every single day. There's new deals being struck with countries using something other than the dollar.
People always mocked the conspiracy theorists that the dollar will always be king, right?
Yep.
And then, as it's happening slowly, they're saying, oh, it's just manageable. It's like slight. Who cares if it was 80% of global trade and now it's 60%? And, and then at a certain point, once it hits, there is a tipping point. We don't know what it is, but it might be like 50%. or 49%, and then it just plunges down to like 2%.
And the Bank of England just comes out and says it and says, listen, you plebs, you chavs, you yobs, you just have to get used to being poor. Have fun staying poor. There is no aspirations in Britain. You're permanently going to be a yob.
This is a central bank saying, have fun staying poor. They have literally jumped the Liotta shark into the Bitcoin meme world. It's just funny.
The Ray Liotta shark.
The Ray Liotta shark. Like that's the thing is like when I read the quote and I saw her son Martinez had tweeted it, and I had to check it, right? I thought it was a joke. When I saw that Joe Biden is selling a cup with a coffee mug with him with laser eyes, I thought I was about to retweet it and say something, and then I was like, wait, I'm about to be one of these people that get played by a meme or a joke from some Bitcoiner. And then so I went and Googled it. It was like Biden 2024, and I went and found it. And Hillary Clinton's people, they had her like say on the news and like wherever she was questioned, she jumped the shark. There was no Liotta shark at that time, but she just jumped the shark in a like what the fuck moment, because remember she said to the world media that Donald Trump has Pepe the Frog on his side, and Pepe is a Nazi. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's 4chan. And it's like how can you say a frog is on the side of a person running for president? It's a frog, and it's a meme.
So here we are in 2023, getting ready for 2024, and Joe Biden is trying to position himself in social media and the meme wars by coming up with this laser eye meme. I mean, at first I thought it was lobotomy scars, right? I think that somehow they went in there and they botched a lobotomy and they ended up with bleeding eyeballs. But then I guess, okay, it's a laser meme, but it's now directly taken from the Bitcoin world. So is that what he's trying to say with Bukele's laser eye memes by coming up with laser eyes? Because they see that Bukele is the most popular politician in the world by a huge margin. So they're trying to tap into that in the meme world.
I did a tweet stream about this. I said President Bukele is by far the most popular elected leader in the world. And this is why the president of the United States is now copying him by donning Bitcoin laser eyes. And then I said, this is the proof of stake mindset. They see greatness and they desire it, but they are not willing to work to achieve it. In the altcoin world, they add blockchain to their token and their white paper, and they think that's going to, create perfect money. Nor will putting laser eyes on a mediocre politician ever make a great leader out of Joe Biden. President Bukele has a popularity rating of over 90%. President Biden has one under 40%. So he's like, if I could get to 90%, if I put on laser eyes like President Bukele, it's not, he doesn't want to do the work. He doesn't want to have the leadership. He doesn't want to have the policies. He doesn't want to do any of the stuff that actually got President Bukele to get to the point where he could put on laser eyes and not be laughed at by the memosphere. Like Biden obviously will not be accepted by the memosphere. They will not be putting him in any Liotta memes. We're like all online now, right? We're on Twitter, and then like there's city states within Twitter or on Twitter. So you have Bitcoin Twitter, and then you have, you have shitcoin, you have crypto Twitter that tries to, like, they steal all our memes, right? But definitely it's weird that there's no physical space, but to be let on to Bitcoin Twitter, there is like a gate, right? There are like certain people that are accepted on there, and then certain people who aren't. So these are sort of virtual cities. Greatness is hard work. Great minds or great people, they make it look easy, and there is a magic. When they say magic internet money, which Bitcoin we used to call back in the early days, It seems so easy and like weird and magic, and you know, like the sort of reaction to, say, President Bukele is like that sort of anger and jealousy. Like there's a real jealousy, right? Like, why is that guy popular? Why not me? Like, I'm going to put on laser eyes like him and maybe I'll be popular.
And with Bukele, you're right. I mean, everyone is trying to figure out what the magic formula is. Like,
Yes.
how does he do it? And I think in the case of Biden, they put all that data into a computer and an AI bot, and they said, okay, what's the magic formula of Bukele? And they came out with make a meme with Biden and laser eyes.
Yeah.
That came out of the other end of the computer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't reflect any work, and it's not going to in any way going to work. And it just shows you that they're just lazy and they're not willing to really understand the context of what's going on. And also shows that their facility with just believing all the lies and the FUD around, let's say, Bukele and all these other things that they aspire to be like are usually shrouded in some controversy. And they want to know, why these things are successful, but they don't want to pierce the veil of the FUD that a lot of these things are encased in. Case in point would be Keiser Report. People mimic it. They love it. It's encased in a shroud of controversy. So they don't want to go past that. Certainly not in the United States. But other countries did, and they learned about Bitcoin when it was $5, and a lot of people became millionaires as a result of it because they were willing to do the work to get through the FUD and just listen to what we were saying, but not so in the US, where the Cold War and the hot war was still raging and was preventing people from getting past their own biases.
This AI is advancing so fast. Like, it's pretty crazy. I haven't tried any of this chat GPT things because I'm kind of scared of where like the rabbit hole might take me down. But nevertheless, like maybe as an incumbent in that space, like they could just keep recreating these things. For people like Madonna who don't want to age, you know,
Right.
she could just keep recreating, you know, her sort of videos and her performances from her when she was in her 20s or 30s. And maybe that might make her happy.
So, I mean, without death, life doesn't exist. So those who achieve greatness, like Steve Jobs, would say, you know, you only have one life. Time is limited. It's your most precious commodity. Get it on. Do what you need to do. Now, if he was going to be and there was no time constraint and you had the next 1,000 years to figure out what you want to do, you would just eat Fritos all day and never get out of bed.